Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
As we close the year, we are here again to go through what can just provoke your minds to see that we can have our companies stronger and they can be there as a growing concern. And what we are here to present this morning, as you can see on the screen, is beyond the numbers, navigating the landscape of sustainable business. And but before that, I think Barbara did not introduce herself. She's Barbara Wangende, and is in charge of this session this morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we are to look at the topic which I already told you, we want to tackle it this way, by way of introduction. What do we mean by the theme? And we are looking at moving from the traditional methods or traditional things we are used to, because we always look at selling this business, that business, the other business. We are looking at profitability. Yes, we know it must be profitable, but there is something more than that. You must look at the entire spectrum to see how you can sustain your business and your companies. And the reason why we decided this theme, because we know it addresses critical issues, and indeed we must look at things which can sustain our companies going forward. Today we can make the profits, but what will happen the next day is a question which all of us must address. And if I'm to go a little bit into the definition of what we look at the sustainable business, we definitely have to look at all those issues which must sustain our business. You know, ESG is of very paramount importance these days, but we need to look, to give it the attention it deserves if we are to move to the next level of ensuring that our companies remain sustainable and remain resilient. When you look down here, we have tried to show you, if we are looking at the environment, what would it do? You can look at the natural or the physical environment, and then you also need to look at the social bit of it, where we must look at how satisfied are our workers, how satisfied are the people we serve, how satisfied is everybody who benefits from what we do. You can as well ask yourself as the CEO also, how satisfied are you? Because I was told there might be some CEOs who are still struggling too much, even to make sure that they are seen and behave as CEOs. So all this needs to be looked at, and the governance bit of it also needs to be looked at. How do you make your decisions if you're not in office? If a claim is coming, should it wait for the 1 month you are on leave until you come back? If it comes when you have flown out of the country, what should happen? And things like that, really, in a way, talk about the sustainability of our companies. Then the need to focus on our businesses being sustainable. We definitely know the changing landscape, and it stretches across all areas, or all spectrum, or the entire spectrum, because it changes in what we do, but also the climate. As you know, some of the people may think that climate might not affect us when we are insuring maybe fire, when we are insuring the contractors' all risks and others. But you know what is happening now when roads are being washed away, and someone was constructing the road. You can know to what extent that can affect what we do. Then there is an issue of adapting for sustainability. And here we look at how resilient and how quick can we change in order to talk to the unforeseen challenges. Is it that when something comes, we must take another 2 months or 1 month or 1 year in order to change, or we can quickly change the ways we are doing business and move? Can you imagine what should happen, what should have happened to us if we were not quick to change our ways of doing business when COVID hit us? Because nobody had ever experienced it, that the entire world can come to a standstill, and there is no plane in the air other than those special ones. And everything is coming to a standstill. What should happen? Can we, as our companies, look at how we can sustain the companies even when we are hit with worse situations or worse situations than what we went through? Then, quickly, I want to look at the benefits, but I cannot claim to be the expert really in giving you the benefits, because I know each one of you knows how beneficial it will be if your company is sustainable, if whatever business you are doing is sustainable, and you know the problems of it not being sustainable. You can see there was a study which was made, and these were the results, where CEOs agreed on the future success. 90%. I don't know why this microphone is You don't want me to come this side. You can see 93% of the results, what they talked about. And these are CEOs who agreed on this. And this study, you can see, is a very important study done by UN Global Compact. This means studies which have been done talk to why we must have the companies sustainable, and we must have them benefiting all of us. And the benefits, the brand image. We have talked about the brand. The brand, when someone is selling a product and says it is sold by this company, and someone will say, yes, I'll buy it quickly, without even going into other things. But when you do not have a good brand, when they talk of your company, someone will say, hey, don't worry. So that is critical, and we must ensure that we work on it, and it will help us. You can see the competitive advantage. When your company now becomes sustainable, it means that you can as well afford to do many things which can help you to get benefits which others might not get. That has in some ways been able to be gotten by group companies. But even if you are not a group, you can work to that level, and then the competitive advantage, you can do things, you can offer products which you can subsidize, which others might not be able to do. Then there is the higher productivity. When what we are looking at, when our companies become sustainable, even the productivity becomes enhanced. It means that we can get much more than what others are getting, yet you are using the same resources. And this is important for all of us. The operating cost reduction, the access to new markets, the attractiveness for employees and investors, the better customer acquisition, the increased business profitability, and indeed for the government, taxes are also paid. And when taxes are also paid, then the public good can be able to be gotten. The key pillars. As you know, ESG integration will lead to the environmental, social, and governance factors into our businesses. And as we are starting, we looked at what might be the things we look at for ESG. And again, as part of ESG, we can be looking at the risk management and the long-term performance. Because when you make your company's business sustainable, definitely you are looking at surviving for a long haul. And that means many things can be done, yet if you are only getting profits for today, you don't know the next year. And even if you just look at at the companies within the insurance industry, there are those who have made high sales in 1 year, but the following year they come down. They make very good profits 1 year, next year they come down, because we are only looking at making these sales for today, not making our businesses sustainable. And it is really something which we must all work on to ensure that our companies become sustainable. We cannot talk of sustainability if we are not looking at technological efficiency. And not because the regulator is bringing in the supervisory software which your systems must talk to the regulators, but even for your own operations. You may, I had a discussion with the UIA about the medical insurance having a centralized platform. Because many of these things, if they remain manual, they disturb each one of us. But if we can have a centralized system with standardized charges and many other things, even if you want the figures, even if you want to check on the fraudsters, that can quickly be sorted out than when company X is claiming to have their own system, the other one is claiming to have their own system, yet each one's system is not fully automated as it should be. The other issue is we must look at the cyber risks. Definitely, when we are talking of automation, we are talking of advancements in this and the other area, we cannot neglect the cyber risks associated with whatever we are talking about. But the cyber risks don't prevent us from moving ahead. We will move with them. And you definitely know even the banks who have lost huge sums of money, they continue to automate, they continue to have new innovations because we are all looking at having a sustainable business. So the other one is we must look at innovation. Yes, the regulator has been at the forefront of making sure that companies do innovate, but really that is not a core of the regulator, but it is a core of your company. Because if you do not innovate and you want to copy and paste, it means you make so many mistakes before you get the correct answer. Yet, if you have something and you have done a good research, here, you know, many companies do not want to invest in research. When you invest in research and you can come up with a product which you are sure and you have run different models of how it will work, chances are high that it will work. But even if it does not work, you will get many others which will work and it will spike. Sustainability to ensure that your companies and your businesses can be there as a going concern. The other issue is the diversity. We have talked about how many products we have on the market. How many products does your company sell? Do you think people can still buy the other traditional policies and that is their need today? If that was a need then, is it a need today? Can you think of more things, more products you can put on the market to ensure that if product X does not sell as much as you expect, at least product Y or Z can be there. Then the equity and inclusion. As we think of what to do, can we think of having people with different brains and it can challenge you when you sit in your management meeting? Maybe when your board sits and you're talking of boards, people who can come with those stupid ideas, but those stupid ideas can turn your business to very sustainable. Those crazy ideas, and people can just, some people want to discourage such characters. Say, don't disturb us. You're bringing things which we have never talked of, we have never thought of. But those crazy ideas can turn around our businesses and can make them sustainable. So, as you do the recruitments, as you sit down, just tickle your minds, just think outside the box. Just think of things which are crazy. They will help us to ensure that we get our companies sustainable. The other one is when we are thinking of the products which we have, we must address our minds to the accessibility and affordability of products. Yes, we have talked of very good products, but can my judge get that the product you are talking about? At one time we were talking of partnering with the telecoms, others. What has stopped us from doing it? Why can't we do it a little faster? What has stopped us from partnering with the supermarkets? Are you really sure that the only business we can do with the fuel stations is only to sell motor third party? Are you really sure? How many people will they serve a day? These are some of the things which we need to ask our minds and really hit them head on. We will get our company sustainable and better and better sales. But it shouldn't be only the sales. It should be we make the products we sell affordable, but also accessible. And the underserved or the unserved or not yet reached or whatever you call them, can we target them? Can we have those products which can talk to the needs of the people who have never thought of buying insurance. Or we will only still think of having the fire policy, the motor comprehensive, and things like that. Let's have our minds addressed to such things that will help us. Then the responsible insurance. And responsible insurance, the ethical practices. Ethical practices. The other time I told you of the complaints, people coming to the complaints bureau because someone underwrote a policy of this amount of money, and 2 months down the road, someone is changing the premium without any reason which is given. You want someone to pay more. Do you think those people can take us serious if this is what we are doing? Do you think people can take us serious if when claims do happen, you only find reasons not to pay? You find all the reasons and you are giving this excuse after another, and you don't want to pay. Actually, I am telling the Complaints Bureau now that for every complaint which comes, and we, in our wisdom, we think it should have been resolved at the first point of instance, we are going to fine. We are going to fine you for that complaint coming up. What else do I have which causes you to do your job? Because if we do things which depicts us as ethical, it will stop other people to come on board. Even the little successes we have registered will have changes. And the products which we do, I know we already passed, I think, a guideline or something, or a circular telling you to summarize the policy at the end of policy. You must have key fact document, sort of, that I can quickly understand the policy I'm buying today or tomorrow. Unfortunately, I have seen some policies which do not have it. I have seen. Now, really, do you need us to fight? Because something is simple and the intentions are good. Let's do it. Then we can talk of companies being sustainable. If the people we serve continue to guess, I don't know whether I bought this one or the other one, or what, and what's still when the claim comes, then you tell me, no, this is what we meant. Then we are not helping ourselves to make our businesses sustainable, to ensure that we can have products which are simple to understand, and they can make our business move. Hey. What is? Quickly looking at the corporate governance bit of it, and you are familiar with these scandals. I think if you may interest yourselves in looking at what has happened at these scandals, because they can help you to know how better you will do, or how good is good corporate governance can help our companies in becoming sustainable. As we try to run faster, what would be our perspective as the regulator is we all agree that if a business is sustainable, it creates a strong, stable, and developed insurance industry. We all strive to make our businesses sustainable. We'll definitely make sure that we are all better. Also, as the regulator, we know that ESG strategy and work is being worked on, but it is important that even before we roll it out, each one of you addresses the ESG issues so that you can look at a company which is more sustainable. The other one is the disclosures which I've talked about. You know how many times you have been accused of the small prints. And for how long can we go ahead to tell people that we have since moved away from the small prints, that all prints now are big, but then they tell you they are those things you hide, and they will only come out when we have an issue. When you make everything plain as possible, it becomes better. Actually, I think we should start a discussion with the association. Can we have the standardized documents maybe somewhere, and when I sell a policy or when I buy a policy, I can have 1-2 pages, and I know that the rest of the information is as something I can find somewhere. So that if I'm buying, I can quickly peruse the page 2 or 1, and I know this is what I have bought, and I be home and dry. Market development, let's have that discussion with the association, and we can see how we can help in ensuring that closures are clear, but also make it very simple. The risk-based supervision, as you know, makes the risk governance critical. And we need to ensure that we are all up to the game. Let's not wait for the regulator coming, but we think the risk-based supervision is intended to help us to move in the right direction and therefore we should look at compliance issues. As I already said earlier, the technology and innovation is important. We need to have it at the forefront of what we think of doing. But we are not saying that it will not attract cyber and it is really up to us to see what we need to do in order to address the risk associated with technology and the innovation which we are thinking about. The other one is the social element in ESG is and therefore now I want to go to the conclusion of what I have talked about, and it is for all of us to see that we work to ensure that our companies remain sustainable. Our companies are not only looking at how much you have underwritten during this year, how much profit made this year, but how do we make our companies more sustainable? As I said earlier on, I cannot claim that what I have told you is exhaustive. I just wanted to tickle your mind as we close the year so that you can think of what needs to be done and we can have better companies and better businesses. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen.
I would like to give us an opportunity right now to ask some questions, to ask the CEO some questions. We have about 10 minutes. If there's anyone who has any question or comment, please take this opportunity to raise your questions. Do we have a microphone, please?
Yes, good morning, everybody. Gary Corbett, SERENA Life. Mr. CEO and IRA, I applaud your, dare I say, crusade to support ESG and sustainability. I think most of us would agree with all of your principles, and I think you will have 100% support from the industry. But I do have one concern. Insurers want to pay claims. They do not find reasons not to pay claims. This is 1980s thinking. That's not how we operate. None of us want to be fined by the IRA. None of us want to be dragged in front of the Complaints Bureau. We have better things to do. So does the IRA. What we want is a balanced perspective on complaints, because we don't pay every claim, not because we don't want to pay them, but because they're either unpayable, even to the simplest analysis of a particular claim in terms of whether it meets policy terms and conditions, or they are opportunistic, and that's a polite word to describe fraudulent. Whether we like it or not, people see claiming false claims from an insurance company as a victimless crime. And 2 years ago, this very discussion was all about fraudulent claims. That really is the biggest risk we have to sustainability in our industry. So can we be assured that there is a balanced view in the Complaints Bureau that not every claim is payable, that the insurers are doing their best to help customers, but we will not, repeat, not help fraudsters. Thank you.
Thank you. Just two more questions.
Thank you. This is probably not a question, but an appeal to the regulator. Thank you so much for your presentation, sir. We appreciate and interact with most of the things you said this morning. Having simplified policies, having key facts. At one time, I thought actually we should have the policy standardized across. You only give you the policy sheet, so there's no confusion of small print. I interact with that. Having said that, picking where Gary was, that fraud is the enemy, is total sustainability. Look at the IRA reports over the last 10 years. Look at complete the CAGR of growth of revenues and claims. Much as our industry is still profitable, it's being eroded slowly. You realize that the claims have been consistently growing about over 20% yearly, 20% consistently. The revenues, excluding life and medical, have been growing about 7 to 9%. You extrapolate that, you find within 20 years, 30 years, to not be a good market. So sustainability could have been better brought at this time, and I really applaud for that. But then, what is driving that? Fraud, as mentioned. I'm glad you mentioned fraud in your presentation. So I want to appeal to the complex bureau. Again, in regard. My young sister here once said, Alan, have you paid as many claims as that this year? Well, yes, we have as well. Some of them are to the fraudulent. I can go on the subject of fraud, and I will see when you know me and you will discuss this over the years several times. These guys have meetings like this to discuss how to fraud us. So the complex bureau, no serious, I mean that, you can come to me. They do. And they have lawyers who advise us. We do not want to see me, some of them, because they know probably buying any lines. So my appeal is to the complex bureau. Like I say, I don't think any of us will be succeeding if we don't pay claims. I'm proud to pay claims, and I believe everyone else is. But when they come to your office, kindly look at them cleanly. That's why I understand this is the policies, excellent and all things, but support the industry. Sustainability will be achieved if you're letting the forces of life feel day because they know that IRA complex bureau and discuss this before. Thank you.
Thank you. One more question. I hope it's a bit not related to fraud, because we've exhausted that.
Yes, I think that has been exhausted. Mine was just to add to say that even in IFRS 17 disclosures, we are going to have to declare performance per class, and this is in regard to building sustainability in terms of line of business. So it's just for us to continue to work together as an industry to ensure that at a certain point the shareholders do not tell us to drop certain classes of insurance if they are not performing well. The other aspect that I wanted to share, thank you CEO, the IRA, in terms of the ESG. As an industry, I think oil and gas has largely been declared as a sensitive area in terms of ESG. So as we look at the framework and within the sector which we are operating, or with the oil and gas industry coming up here, I just want to see how we'll tackle those aspects raised under oil and gas in terms of ESG and how we'll proceed going forward.
One more.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have just a couple of questions, which I'll go through in exactly a minute. Number one, on the ESG strategy. Mr. CEO, the draft framework, is it available for us to give input as an industry? Because internally the members are also developing their own frameworks. We don't want to be so far off. Secondly, the issue of the proposed decentralized medical system. I just wanted to know if IRA has done an audit of the current systems that members do have, that insurers do have, as are the medical insurers, to be able to inform them the centralized medical system. Because I think the UIA recently conducted a study on medical insurance, and I'm sure you studied, and there are certain other pointers that we think that the IRA also needs to focus on besides the centralized system. The other issue is on a proposal, Mr. CEO. We are talking sustainability. I don't know if it's possible for the IRA, in view of ensuring that we create sustainable businesses, can create tiers within the different industry players, especially on the side of the insurers. We've seen a number of local, especially players, going under as a result of the regulatory regime, and yet predominantly you may find that they were probably a one-line insurer, providing maybe on the motor, providing only predominantly MTP. So is it possible to create tiers within the insurance industry and benchmark on the banking industry for purposes of sustainability, so that players can then progress into the top tier, where we seem to see now regulation and supervision and standards all standardized. My last comment, Mr. Chairman, sorry, Mr. CEO, is on the issue of innovation. I don't know if IRA can go on a deliberate move to sort of reward innovation. And my brother Saul can allow me to use him as an example. We can say that maybe for all companies that are being driven by technology and are innovative, maybe we retain 0.1% of the trading levy to go directly into financing innovation, because innovation is expensive. How do we support as the regulator in terms of ensuring that the companies innovate? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'd like to hand over to CEO to respond to those questions.
I gave the assignment to write for me the questions to someone, but as soon as she was giving me the paper, she was telling me the handwriting. If I don't answer correctly, Kobe, he said that insurance companies will not find reasons not to pay. You actually, I want to say that true you pay, but you know it also that you find reasons not to pay claims. You find reasons not to pay claims when these claims come to you. And we can only, actually, it is the ideal situation that we should find reasons to pay. That is the ideal, but we're not yet there. And I want to move with you there and move. We have moved from wherever we were to where we are. And at times I have to get on the horns and we move by force, but there are those who move willingly towards where we want to go. So we can only change it ourselves. If we do not, then we will have challenges. Having a balanced perspective at the Complaints Bureau, unless you let me know that there are instances where the Complaints Bureau has been biased. However, for those rulings have looked at, I have looked at them, that the Complaints Bureau has examined each and every evidence which is submitted. And I want to say again that some of you want to do underwriting at the time of claim settlement. That one will never allow. Not when I'm still the CEO at IRA. We will never allow. Now you cannot see it when you are underwriting. Somebody is claiming and you want to bring that as a reason now. What do you want us to do? When you are underwriting, please, there is no reason why you should have it. Examine. I told you we can use the pre-underwriting surveyors or something. Please, if you have any reason to believe that something is fraudulent, bring it up. Let the unfraud unit examine it, and we can move. Or give us evidence that it is fraudulent, then we will move with you, because we will never support that. The other assurance, again from Alan and again COVID, is the Complaints Bureau will at all times ensure that it does a professional job. We will do our job professionally, and please feel free to talk to me directly if you think that is not being achieved. Then the standardized policy, really this is what we should have. This is what we should have. And only schedule should be the one we print out. And the handwriting. The ESG in oil and gas is something which we are looking at, but you also know that there are those who overstretch it. And I think it was Kobe, Kobe Gary who told them when we were in Bar or somewhere, he told some people, but people leave us to first give all. So there are also those areas, and we shall ensure that we look at them. Which strategy? I think it was what Jonan talked about. First of all, there is the first of which I can read. But, yeah? Oh, if we can share. We are still at a level not yet ready to share, but we will share definitely. We cannot have it rolled out before we have your input. The other one is on medical insurance. Medical insurance, if we have done an audit. Yes, we have, and I can confirm there are many things which need to be done, and we can only do them when we have a unified system. I think the others are noted. I'm looking at my watch is already past 9. I want to thank you very much for your time and your input. May we wish you a happy 2024 and blessed festive season. Thank you very much.